Hindi naman nakalaga.
Attention on the concourse. This will serve as the
May I have your attention, please? This announcement is also for airline passengers. If you have arrived from U.S. domestic or Canadian flights and not before at our check-in counter, please report to our agents at gate G96 or whatever. Thank you. 各位聽眾航空乘客請注意，如果你剛從美國國內或加拿大航線轉機嚟到三藩市，而係仲未同星航辦理登機手續嘅旅客，請嚟到 G96號登機站同星航地勤人員聯絡，多謝合作。
And diamond medallion passengers, again premium and diamond medallions and now on board for Delta Flight 2284.
Mr. Tucker. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Thank you, Mr. Brown. I'm boarding first class. Yeah, first class only. You're in zone 2. Just give us a second, okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bosworth.
Passenger James
Rena Diamonds,
Byron
gentlemen. Sorry.
and Chad Connor. If you're at the area, please continue here at the podium at G99.
Yeah, absolutely. How can you moment? Thank you. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Would you like a beverage before takeoff? Sorry, Doc.
Oh, shoot.
Lemon.
I'll give you a blue one.
Lemon? I'll have
Thank you. No problem. I figured somebody was going to miss it.
it was 846 and then
Go ahead.
Medallion members
City Roads 1, 2, 3. I want to thank you guys. Take your time. I thank you for your business.
Hello, my friend.
How's it going?
All right, all right. You good, brother? Yep. All right.
Good morning.
Hi there. Oh my gosh.
And then let you guys know.
Driver that's off.
Let's check out what they're doing downstairs.
unlimited riding for one low price. Log on to transitchicago.com or call 888-4CTA for sales locations. Stay and play.
Please pass it up. And it's right around here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to U-505. First, I'm going to let you know this is a real German submarine. This submarine was built in Hamburg, Germany in 1940. Commissioned as a flotilla Kriegsmarine for the German Navy, August 26, 1941. It was in active service until June 4th, 1944, when it was captured by Dan Gallery and Hunter-Killer Task Group 22.3. This particular U-boat is a Type 9C. What that means is one of the largest U-boats created for the Second World War. It is 252 feet long, 22 feet wide at the widest point, and 31 feet tall from the bottom of the hull to the top of the conning tower. Right now, it weighs 693 tons. However, when it was active and in service, it weighed closer to 1,120 tons. That's including men, munitions, and supplies. Now, while they're on board, I'm going to tell you what their job was. Their job was to find and sink any and all merchant ships. Also about how they were able to do their job, as well as what was going on, or what was the conditions on board for German sailors. Also talk about what happened on June 4th, 1944, when they were captured by Dan Gallery, particular task in 2243. Now there are a few things I want you to keep in mind when you're on board. The first thing being, this is a real submarine, so watch your head, arms, and legs. The approach is very narrow and also very short. So be very careful where you're going. Also carry any small items, cell phones, wallets, jewelry, glasses, any falls at the bottom of the boat. They're also open great because it's about the U-boat. We will try to retrieve it, but sometimes it does become part of the exhibit. Now, if you want to take pictures, that's more than okay. We just ask you to turn off the flash, but do ask for no videography. Now, this is a tune with lighting and sound effects, focus of darkness, and similar explosions. If at any point you're filming off the boat, let me know, and I'm glad to the nearest exit. Now, because there are lighting and sound effects, I will not be able to answer questions during the tour. However, after the tour is over, I am more than happy to answer any other questions you may have. Alright, let's go ahead and welcome the rest. Oh, that one goes all the way over there, and then we take this one and put it right there. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to U-505. Right now, you are standing in the petty officer's quarters. These are the lowest ranking officers aboard the U-boat. Right now, there are 14 of us in this room. However, when the U-505 was active, there were 59 grown German sailors as part of the crew. In addition, we've modified this room extensively to make it easy to walk inside. You guys are standing 1 foot lower than the original floor height. The original floor height is where I'm standing. In addition, the bunks on this side of the room would duplicate against this wall, making this room much narrower. The hole we came through was not cut off until the 60s. Before that, sailors and tourists would climb in and out through the conning tower ladder or the emergency hatches. Now, in addition to having less room for people on board, they also had a lot of supplies. When the German U-boats would leave for their 90 to 100 day long war cruise, they brought all supplies on board at that time. Among the supplies was about 12 tons of food. And they put that food absolutely anywhere they could find space. We're showing underneath bunks, hanging from the pipes.
I found blood back.
They would even fill the bathroom in the forward torpedo room from floor to ceiling with food.
I saw
What that meant, for the first 4 to 6 weeks we were on the water, all 59 men on board had to share the one bathroom in the aft torpedo room, until they literally ate their way into the first bathroom. It was also much hotter on board. This room, when the U-505 was captured off the west coast of Africa, was the coolest room on board. This room was 95 degrees. Now the hottest room we'll pass a little bit. That was the engine room. The engine room ranged between 110 and 120 degrees, depending how long the engine was running. They also had a very limited supply of fresh water. They use fresh water for 3 things daily. They can drink it, cook with it, and maintain and clean the batteries with my feet. Now these batteries can maintain or clean using seawater. The seawater in these batteries would react to make chlorine gas. You may have noticed I said nothing about bathing. So for 90 to 100 days in hot, cramped conditions, 59 grown men did not bathe. All they could do was wipe themselves down with alcohol swabs to keep away infections. These conditions actually gave the U-boats a nickname. The German Navy called the U-boats Schweinboten, which is German for pig boats. Now they also had only a amount of bunks. There are a lot of bunks, but there are only 35 bunks on the entire boat for all 59 men. If you're a petty officer higher, you have your own bunk. However, enlisted men did something called hot racking. 2 men shared one bunk in the forward and after torpedo room. One man would sleep, the other man would work. When the working man finished the 8 to 12-hour long shift, they'd change places. They went to climb to a hot, wet, smelly, probably lice-infested bed. Not pleasant at all. They did have some pleasantries, like this music. This music is a copy of one of the 87 records on board the U-505. This music is French dance music. This music was illegal in contraband in homeland Germany. The U-505's home port was in Lorient, France. So this music was readily available. They were also able to play dice and card games in their downtime. But they did not have a lot of downtime. They had a job to do. They had to find and sink any and all merchant ships heading to Great Britain. What they would do once they spotted one, they would follow it on the surface until night. Once night came, the captain would dive bell, sending men rushing to stations such as these. Open the ballast tanks to the water around it, fill the ballast tanks submerged in U-505, 30 feet below the surface, or periscope depth. And once in the water, the captain would climb the conning tower to the side of his target. On March 5th, 1942, that target was a British vessel, the Benmore. In order to get a torpedo from that room to the Benmore, they make a firing solution. The firing solution is a mathematical equation using the speed and angle of the U-505 relative to the speed and angle of the Benmore. Now, this is very important, because once the torpedo is launched, they have no control over it. And if they miss, then they go to the position to counterattack. So right now, you hear the captain giving instructions on how to adjust the torpedo to make sure it hits its target. Preparing to fire. Loose, the German word for away or fire. The torpedo's in the water. Now, the German sailors know exactly how long it's supposed to take for a torpedo to reach the Benmore. And at that time, there's silence, they've missed. An explosion indicates a hit. On March 5th, they hit and sink the Benmore. The first ship sunk by the U-505. The groan you hear in the background, that was the sound of the Benmore's hull breaking apart as pulled beneath the waves. 2 days later, they'll finally sink the Norwegian vessel, the Sidolf. Less than a month later, on April 3rd, 1942, they'll finally sink the American vessel, the West Irmo. In all, the U-505 will find and sink 8 Allied supply ships throughout the course of the war. That is nowhere near records about other U-boats. They're active until June 4th, 1944, when they were captured. We'll talk about the capture and the control room. On your way to the control room, there are a few instruments you'll down for. Past this hatch to your left is a galley, where one cook cooked 3 meals for 59 men on 3 hot plates and oven inside their shoe boxes. Next room is office quarters. Men that are highly recommended in this room. Next to each room is on your left. The first room is the sound room, where German sailors look for enemy boats on hydrophones. The next room is the communication room. They're going to find the boarding party found 2 enemy machines the U-505 was captured. Across from this room is Captain Longman's bunk. Captain Longman was the last captain aboard the U-505. He was 6'2", the bunk was only 5'9". Please head to the ramp to the right. I'll meet you back there. That's actually the original chart. It's not from this boat.
That's cool.
This is actually out of airport for a long time. Yep. And if you want to see, we have a couple seats right here. You can actually become part of the crew. Feel free to sit down. There, go on. Yeah. Sit down. It's okay. He's happy sitting that way. To come all the way controlled from this room or communicated with. This right here is actually a telephone. The receiver's been removed. If the telephone lost power because of power outage, it was switched to speaking tubes. This is right, the one's right over there. Come a little closer, more people can get inside. Is everyone inside? Yeah. Okay. I'll be able to see here if I'm going to sit down, but this room was also where they steer the boat from. These two wheels right here, these control U-505's planes. They're called plainsman stations. They control the U-505's ability to dive and climb once underwater. On the wall over there, there's a Blackspark BBC as a helmsman station that controls U-505's ability to go left and right underwater. And right above us is the conning tower. This has also been kept the periscopes as well as other machines and different machinery and tools used for lookouts and navigation. Now, on days of June 4th, 1944, the captured U-505, Captain Long and two of his officers were right above us on lookout. They were looking for any merchant ships to sink. However, they spotted task group 22.3. This is a force designed and dedicated to sinking them. They have only one defense, a crash dive. Men to rush to their stations. Any man not on duty is going to run in the front of the U-boat and dogpile. Once they do that, they can submerge in about 37 seconds. And once underwater, silence became the order of the day. Sound travels much further through water than it does through air. A voice of loud as mine can easily be heard for miles, and they know the Americans are listening because of that pinging noise. That pinging noise is an active sonar looking for the U-505 for American ships and planes. Also, once underwater, they only had 72 hours of battery power. Considering that battery power, all non-essential equipment and lights were turned off. Everything else went down to minimal power. If we're on minimal power right now, it will be darker. They also only had 36 hours of oxygen. To conserve the oxygen, any man who was not working was sent to the bunks to sleep. A sleeping man uses less oxygen and is more quiet. For 2 days, Captain Long and the crew of the U-505 avoid detection, surfacing only at night to recharge your batteries and get more oxygen. Over those 2 days, on their hydrophones, their enemy ships getting closer and closer. At night, their enemy patrols flying overhead. They knew they were being tracked. They have one last defense they can try. They can try to dive deeper. At 500 feet below the surface, the pressure on the outside hull is 16 tons per square foot. If they ever get down to 755 feet, they'll be crushed like a tin can. However, the crowing of the hull and the ping of the sonar are the scariest noise the German sailor could hear. The scariest noise will be splashes overhead. That means depth charges, and they're under attack.
Why is there only like some light? Why is there only some light?
Once depth charges explode, all power in this room is lost. They have no control over their steering. The rudders are jammed to the right, their planes are jammed at a downward angle. They are literally spinning out of control, deeper and deeper. They have one option to survive. They need to blow the ballast tanks and emergency surface. The order is given and they start to rise. Once they reach the surface, Captain Longa, the first officer, and the radio man come this ladder and find out the situation. They open the hatch and look around. They find out they are surrounded. For the next 6 minutes, American fighters attacked U-505. During that time, Captain Longa and his first officer are both injured. This radio man a fatality. The last order Captain Longa gives aboard U-505 is abandon the boat, scuttle it. Now in order to scuttle U-505, 14 5-pound full of charges are placed upon our hull. These charges are meant to cripple and sink U-505. taking technology and all of our secrets to the bottom of the ocean. As last German sailors are banging the U-boat up this ladder, one of the sailors pulls the sea turret cover off a pipe in this room, flooding him with water. As the German sailors being rescued by United States destroyers, a 9-man boarding party from the Pillsbury comes down this ladder. The boarding party searches the U-boat. They find 13 of the 14 charges, and they recap the sea turret cover, stopping the flooding. However, they're missing one charge, and the rudders are jammed. To unjam the rudders, they get to after feeder room. We're gonna finish our story and let you motor room. Who sent you, right? We'll get you back there. There are beds in there. There's a lot more. There's other things in there too, though. All right, so the Ringer's Pass through is a diesel engine room. What you're smelling right now, that's the smell of diesel fuel. That smells of vapor that surfaces all around us. The sound you're hearing is a recording of one of those engines inside that room on idle. In that room, there are two 9-cylinder, 2,170 horsepower diesel engines. They were capable of pulling the U-boat on the surface at 18 knots, which is roughly 12 miles per hour. However, they're combustion-based engines. They use oxygen. If they were used underwater, they use all the oxygen on board in a few seconds, suffocating the crew. So once underwater, they'll switch to 2 electric motors, main cylinders on your feet. Weaker. They're much weaker engines, however. They can only propel a U-boat at about 7 knots, roughly 8 miles per hour. However, they run on battery power, and they're much quieter. They're ideal for use underwater. So back to our story. Captain Gallery's boarding party got this far. Closed hatch. A closed hatch in a submarine is usually a bad sign. It could mean this room is flooded, or it's a trap, or when the door explodes. However, they know they need to get through the door to get the man control for the rudder. Unsure what to do next, they radio Captain Gallery for instructions. Now, Captain Gallery was an officer that never orders his men to do something he was not willing to do himself. So Captain Gallery first comes on the U-boat, asks for 5 volunteers to remain, as everyone else leave. Captain Gallery and his 5 volunteers check for traps. They don't really find any. So they first look at the door, just in case there is some flooding. Unseal it, pull it open. Now inside there is some water. There's a burst pipe in the bathroom. German sailors banging the boat thought it was a hull breach. They did, however, find some interesting things. Like the fact that T hatches, pipes, dials, and torpedo tubes were covered with a phosphorescent paint.
What about that speaker?
A paint that would glow in the dark and guide German sailors in case of blackout. Now, this day of practice, the United States Navy uses it to this day, and they first saw aboard the U-505. Now, they're also able to find the last charge inside that room. But the other 13 charges on board, it was not armed. All 14 charges on board the U-boat were not armed. The Navy sailors were armed with charges that had been injured during the attack, or batting the boat too fast to arm them. They were also able to gain control of the U-boat. Now, black wheel all the way in the back there, that's the manual control for the rudder. They will use that to ungrab the rudder and get going in a straight line. Then they were able to search the U-boat. Inside the room behind it, they found 2 acoustic-holding torpedoes. These torpedoes are actually designed to track the sound of an ship's engine and follow it. The technology United States was working on, but not perfected at this point in the war. They also found the 2 Enigma machines, the communication we passed earlier. But more importantly, they found about 900 pounds of documents, charts, maps, code books, ciphers, all kind of intelligence. But all this intelligence was useless if the Germans ever found out that U-505 had been captured. In order to capture U-505 in secret, they towed the U-boat across the ocean to Bermuda, repaint it black, and rename it USS Nemo, disguised it as an American sub. The 58 survivors of the U-505 were taken in secret to a prisoner of war camp, which was the rest of the war, and it looked like their family, their government, or the Red Cross. This is a violation of the Geneva Convention. However, these actions may have shortened the war in the Atlantic by as much as 2 whole months, saving thousands of lives on both sides. Right after the war was over, the U-505 was used for target practice by new nuclear submarines the Americans had built. However, Captain Gallery, now Admiral Gallery, thought it was a very poor use to capture prize. To convince the Navy to join the Museum of Science and Industry as war memorial. This was the last 61 years in dedication to the men and women who lost their lives during the First World War in Olympic Theater. I thank you for joining my tour. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to come here and look at the hatch, there are 2 things they ask. 1, please do not go through the hatch. The floor overside is very, very old. I'm not quite sure how strong it is anymore. And 2, we have about 4 or 5 minutes before the next tour gets here to make sure everyone has enough time to look through it. I'm going to get out of the way. There's more looking up. Come up here. Let's start passing. We can drop this one. You guys want to go ahead and look up this one? Any questions?
EA 3-day passes offer 3 days of unlimited riding for one low price. Log on to transitchicago.com or call 888-YOUR-CTA for sales locations.
enter our final approach. It is now time to discontinue the use of your laptop computers and DVD players.